From boardrooms to Kampala's busy streets, their journeys unfold. Tune in to KLS Kampala Love Stories. Kampala's newest love stories air every day, 8:30 p.m. All right, okay. Thank you so much for joining. My name is Benzy Darling, and today we have a beautiful story, if you didn't know, and we're doing the KLS. KLS is Kampala Love Stories, and what we're doing today is against all odds, a story between Jacob and Anna. Jacob is 34 years old, and he owns a huge, successful company that is valued in millions of dollars. And he's from a well-off family and is very well educated and is basically ideal figure of a successful man. Along the way, he gets to recruit some people on his staff, and there comes Anna. So Anna comes in as an intern on the new recruits that have been added. And Anna is 23 years old, just left university, very ambitious and everything. She's known from a very well-off family. The very first day, the human resource had this kind of meetings with the new recruits and everything. And then the boss came in the next day. When the boss came in, they had to sit for a board meeting. All the new members introduced themselves, and it was a lovely moment because everyone got to mention what they do and why they are there, what their promises to the company and everything. Later on that day, the boss realizes that Anna is not very confident because, of course, she just left university and she's not very confident. She's still nervous when it gets to the job and stuff like that. One of those days, the early days, they were going down the elevator, like the workers are done and they're going down the elevator. And Jacob, the boss, calls for the elevator to wait for him. And they waited for him. Then when he entered the elevator, he couldn't help but to notice how vulnerable and sort of like shy and timid and sort of like nervous this girl was. So when they got downstairs, he stopped her for a little bit and asked her how she was enjoying the work and if she was facing any challenges. She said no, she loved the work and everything was going smoothly. Next couple of days passed by, and when Jacob finished work that day, he went home. But later on in the evening, he came back to pick something from the office. So when he came, he found Anna still working with another employee in the office. But they were kind of like challenged by something at the office. They needed some help. Jacob dismissed the other employee, said, "You can leave, go home. I'll stay with her and then I'll show her." When they stayed together, he showed her everything that was meant to be done, how it was meant to be done and everything. And after then, it was really late. So he asked her what means of transport she was going to use to go back home. She said she was going to use public means. So what he did was he offered to drive her back home. And when he drove her back home, she lived in a very shaky sort of like place, okay? When they reached there, Jacob couldn't help but to wonder how she was so committed, yet she came from such a very ugly sort of like neighborhood and ugly background and everything and all that. As he was seated there for a couple of minutes in his car, thinking these things, he was ready to start his car. He turns to look around at the house where she had entered, and he sees her looking back through the window. He goes on to drive off and goes back home or whatever. Family, ambition, work and love. Who will be chosen? Find out on KLS Kampala Love Stories. Kampala's newest love stories airs every day, 8:30 p.m. Next couple of weeks, they had a family meeting at Jacob's place. And Jacob invited a couple of workers. They came over and some people had to introduce themselves. When the dinner was done, Jacob's mother sat him down and she wanted a small talk with him. She mentioned that he needed to find a fitting partner. And Simon, who is the cousin to Jacob, looked over like with a very keen eye, sarcastic, joking eye, as if to say to Jacob, like, hey, that new office beauty. And then time goes by, and our new girl at the office, Anna is so engaged now that she's doing a lot of work, she's being very involved in everything and all that. There comes an end of month client mixer. It's an event where they invite some new clients and new prospects so they can get more business from them or see how satisfied they are with business, okay? And then what happened then, in the next couple of minutes, she had to arrange. Now she has been graduated to a full sort of like secretary, but mainly she works in Jacob's office and she's appointed to lead this event. Anna pulled this thing perfectly off so well, and it happens that everyone at the company was very impressed at what she had done, arranging the guests, everything. The dinner was good, and then Jacob, the boss himself, was very impressed. Now he starts to see something very interesting in this girl. He likes her character. She's new from school. She has just joined his company. Remember, she's 23, just left school, and he's 34. He's a successful businessman from a very good family, good background, well educated and everything. What happens is, after the family dinner, when Jacob's mother told him that he had to find a fitting partner, and Simon, the cousin, over that very same dinner, looked over the shoulder and kind of like glanced at Jacob like, hey, that new office beauty, what's going on? We're moving in. So she pulls this thing off so well. And everyone at the office is starting to recognize her. Now we get someone else into the picture. This is Rebecca. Now Rebecca had been very interested from before in Jacob because of his probably achievements, his education, his family background and everything. And she starts to show up every now and then at the office, unannounced. Like she just comes, drops in as if she has come to pick something or as if she's dropping off something or asking something. And every time she could come by, she would do things that make Anna a little bit inferior, belittling her. Sort of like some comments were passed and probably she says this and Anna does not know and she makes it a big deal like, oh, where did you go to school from? Like, where did you grow up from? Not to know this, okay? And then one day the power was off at the office and Rebecca had come. The coffee machine could not work. So Rebecca, actually, can you imagine, instead of going downstairs to pick her own coffee, because it was sort of like a cold day, she calls this girl and sends her for coffee. Can you imagine, like a grown-up sending a grown-up to pick something for them? Anna stays calm and humble, alright? Anna does not make a fuss out of it. She goes downstairs, picks the coffee and brings it for her. So now Rebecca starts to, try to provoke this girl and to make her feel like, inferior and stuff like that. The story gets very interesting here. And Anna now teams up with another colleague at work. Her name is Clara. Clara is 21. So they are pretty much the same age with Anna, and they are teaming up because nobody likes Rebecca. Rebecca is always causing trouble, always questioning people's integrity, and always getting in everyone's way. So long story short, things start to really escalate because Rebecca is interested in Jacob, the company owner. Rebecca does not work from the company. This new girl, Anna, who's just left university, is an intern. She came in as an intern. But now, because of her hard work and her commitment and everything, she's starting to show potential. And now she is a full secretary in Jacob's office. And then we have Simon, who is a cousin to Jacob. He knows a little bit about the attraction they have between Anna and Jacob. They could sense it and see it.
He is a wealthy CEO. She's a young intern from a humble background. When love defies status and family expectations, sparks fly. Don't miss the story, a Kampala love tale unfolding every day, 8:30 p.m. only on KLS, Kampala Love Stories.
Rebecca is everywhere. She's causing trouble as usual. Anna and Clara have teamed up. So what happens is the office arranges something that month. But it did not fit so well because some of the investors were out of the country. As their culture was, every end of the month they had to meet the investors and clients and everything at a get-together and see how business was going and everything. So this time around, Anna suggests something to Jacob, the company owner, a community outreach driven by the company, which would help the company to create a great impact on its merits on its name and everything. So the company buys the idea and they agree to fund it, and she's there to organize it. And it goes so perfectly well that when they went to the community outreach, these two were really closely together. That is Jacob and Anna. And what happened was, at the community outreach, children came running because it was set in Anna's environment, sort of like where she stayed. Remember, some time back, when Jacob drove her there one late night, when she had worked overtime at the office, he noticed that it was not a very good environment. But at this event, everyone came to greet this new stranger, because there were other people, but Jacob was mostly there, sort of like interest because of his enthusiasm and stuff like that. Jacob realized something in Anna. The way she was handling the children, the way she had organized everything in the beginning, it was so spot on for him, and he started to see something special in her. On the other end, on her side, she started to see something special, some sort of like security, some sort of like intellect in Jacob. What happens is a couple of stories start to, you know how office politics, we used to call it, but Lugambo, office Lugambo, starts to show up, and it falls in the ears of Rebecca. Now Rebecca starts to show up every now and then at the office, kind of like every now and then throwing a word that sort of like embarrasses or despises Anna, belittling her. Anna is cool and professional and keeps everything calm. For example, that very one day when Rebecca, there was no power at the office, she can't make the coffee from the office machine, she sends Anna to go downstairs and get her coffee. Such not a very kind act of respect. So days go by and things go by as we went through it, everything. Now Simon, cousin to Jacob, knows about it, okay? That there's something going on. They had this other event where Anna organized it, and Jacob was very impressed because she's new at this stuff, but she pulled off a very good sort of like arrangement. Now, Jacob's mother calls Jacob home and says, Jacob, I hear you are venturing into certain areas that we're not supposed to do as family. So Jacob is a bit confused and he wonders what the mom is talking about. It turns out that the mom is talking about nothing else but the new girl, and the mother goes ahead to call her a distraction. So it is Rebecca sort of like stirring the pot of fire, giving information to the mother about the new girl. Now the mother is furious with Jacob because she doesn't want Jacob to go in that direction, to be in any way mingled with this girl. Thank you so much, those who have been with me. It was lovely having you. My name is Benzy Darling, and this is Kampala Love Stories, and I'm going to continue from there when we meet again. See you. Thank you.
In the busy streets of Kampala, Jacob and Anna's paths cross in a powerful love story. But with family and class standing in their way, will they find a way to be together? Catch every chapter of their journey on KLS, Kampala Love Stories, every day, 8:30 p.m.